Hello, Mom? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm infected with the flu. Oh my goodness, I feel so bad for missing out on the first day of class. Okay, I'll be sure to contact my professors about what I need to do for work. Okay, thanks, Mom. You're the best. She bought it! How could I possibly go to class today? It's still summer, and the sun is still shining for all of us to see. It's my first time skipping classes, and to be fair, I just need to experiment on how it feels like to miss out on an important event, especially in this scenario, which is the first day of school. Now, to be honest guys, I am not an expert in being an escape artist, but if there's one advice I have to use for this first day out of class, it's just that I gotta make use of the entire day. Because once I extend a false sickness out to the entire world, then a 911 call could happen within the next 5 minutes, and my god, it's not even pretty. Now, education, I believe, is really important, but the idea of school really sickens me. But I once Googled about this Harvard professor who said that if you sit in front of the TV and play video games for the rest of the 24 hours within a single day, then you begin to build problem-solving skills for the real world. And his name was Ash Overachiever, and my goodness, he was one of the biggest geniuses we've had over the 20th and 21st centuries. I mean, based on his theory, now I look like a complete idiot because I've been taking exams, taking tests, working in homework when I could have just been at home working on my video game skills because, according to him, I could use it to solve real problem skills. Now that probably explains why I cannot get a single touchdown on Madden 2004 nor pass to level 555 of God of War. Now, as my best idol has said, named Ferris Bueller, life moves on pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you can miss it. And while watching this movie review, please consider a box of wild berry Pop-Tarts. These are things I eat almost every day as they are rich in nutrients, fiber, and vitamin D. On to this review. Hello everybody, welcome to another movie review. As you see that I am in a different outfit, it's because I had a very long day being home alone, let's just say that. So basically tomorrow is my first day of classes at the university, and I'm a little nervous, and I actually don't feel like as if I'm ready because I had a long summer vacation, and I wish I could stay home much longer, but in order for me to cheer myself up, and hopefully I can cheer everyone else up, I decided to review the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off by John Hughes, and it's one of my favorite 80s teens movies. Ferris Bueller's Day Off is a 1986 comedy written and directed by John Hughes, and it stars Matthew Broderick, Sara, and Alan Ruck, and it's a story about this mischievous and twisted teenager named Ferris Bueller, who is a guy who just loves to stay home alone. He loves to trick the authority figures of his high school pretending that he's sick in order to just cut school almost all the time. So in this movie, it takes place in his 9th absence from school, and he pretends that he has a humongous sickness, and he eventually triggers everybody at his school pretending that he's sick and he's dying, and they start having this fundraiser of getting this money for Ferris, pretending that he's really sick. So one day he decides to call his best friend Cameron and his girlfriend Sloane to have a fun adventure throughout the entire city of Chicago on a single school day without people noticing that he was out, or with people making them sure that he was just completely sick all along. And this movie has a lot of fun humor and a lot of great adventure, and now you got yourself a classic 80s movie that I really enjoy. And from the way that it was written and directed by John Hughes, you can tell that this source material, his own source material, it really meant a lot to him. And that's one of the things I've always appreciated about the late John Hughes, and it's that whenever he has stories about adolescence, he wants to bring humor into them, and these are the types of stories, these types of comedy stories that he was willing to express to the entire world, and you can tell it really meant a lot to him to express these type of movies and stories, which is why Ferris Bueller is a type of movie that's not just only funny, it's also, you know, a little therapeutic for teens who just want to get out of the world and just dominate it and just have fun with themselves, and that's the reason why Ferris Bueller is still incredibly funny, and that's why it still has the humor that still keeps up. One of my favorite things about this movie is just the script. The script is just incredibly funny, adventurous, and mischievous all at the same time, and it just keeps on making me laughing. And from beginning to end, as kind of like what I stated, this movie just deals with those type of three themes all at once throughout each and every act of the film, and it really does apply to almost every character in this movie. Every single character has a situation which is either, up or a down situation. And then, there's always something humorous about them, what's going on. And you can tell that it's something that really, dwelled upon their characterizations and how their character art was built throughout the entire movie. And it's something that John Hughes is really good at in terms of writing characters, and especially for the character of Ferris Bueller, which I will go on right now. The acting in Ferris Bueller's Day Off has to be one of the best acting I've ever seen. And it's great acting for a comedy movie like this, because each actor can represent their character in such a very unique way. You got Ferris, who's just very confident and mischievous, and you got Sloane, who just doesn't care about anything. And then you got Cameron, who's just so worried about everything. And of course you got the famous Ben Stein line, like, Bueller. So everybody in this movie is just amazing, but my favorite role is probably Matthew Broderick as Ferris Bueller, and you can tell that this is the movie that probably boosted his career. Matthew Broderick in this film is just fantastic. He is the reason why he became Ferris Bueller and why this movie made him absolutely popular. And from the way that he took the role of Ferris Bueller, he decided to make it even more fun, especially with the way how John Hughes directed him and how John Hughes wanted Ferris Bueller to be. And you can tell from the appearance of Matthew Broderick back in 1986, he does have the appearance of a very mischievous and twisted teen who has a lot of weird ideas on how to deal with his own youth and his ideas for own fun and cutting school. And from the way he acted, he says a lot of funny one-liners, and he breaks the fourth wall, and of course he has that signature ending which plays a very big parody in the movie Deadpool. And this movie does feel like Deadpool in a way, not really with with the breaking the fourth wall, but also with the way of just, not taking itself too seriously, just with the humor and just having fun with itself. And that's honestly what this movie does. It just has a lot of fun with itself. The cinematography in this movie is also incredibly amazing, as it's trying to portray the view of a teenager from the small world to a big world. And from the way that the cinematography is shown, it shows the city of Chicago in a very wide and a very beautiful way. And from the way it's shot, it's just incredibly gazing and amazing. And it's also able to capture, funny sequences of when comedy happens. Especially one of the best scenes of the film is the parade scene where Ferris just dances, pretending that, like, he's lip syncing. And I just completely have fun with it. And from the way that the camera pans around, the audience and people dancing, you just feel as if you really want to dance with them. And it's almost like the Ferris Bueller dance number if Ferris Bueller was ever a musical. John Hughes also had a great proposal in his message of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and it's just go out and live life when you have to, and make sure you make use of the potential that you have about life whenever you're alive. And that's one of the main messages and most important messages about this movie. And you can tell that in the character of Ferris Bueller, although he is a funny guy, you can tell that his reasons for cutting class is very reasonable, because he just wants to be someone that wants to savor the life around him. And it's kind of like that line that I referenced from the movie, is that, life moves on pretty fast, and it really does. And Hughes's, proposal and motivation in making this movie is just to tell every teenager that whether you're in school or cutting school, you just have to savor the life around you, because life is very precious, life is amazing, and once, the fun things happen, you have to make use of it, because it's a precious gift that's given to each and every one of us in this world. And it's just really, amazing and philosophical, especially in a way with the way how John Hughes got to that message. Nevertheless, Ferris Bueller's Day Off is just incredibly fun for what it is. I'm really glad that this movie, exists, because of just how much adventure and excitement this movie can have for a teenager, and especially with the way how it portrays teenagers that just want to get out and just rule the world. And that's what this film is supposed to be. It's a fresh, fun film from beginning to end, and it's never a bore, which is why I really love it. And it's probably the reason why I'm definitely going to give this film a 10 out of 10. Well, that's it, folks. Thank you very much for attending another movie review by me, and I cannot wait to begin classes tomorrow as another semester is about to begin. And as nervous as I am, I think I got this, and I am ready to dominate another day at school and another 4 to 5 months of just studying. And I hope to make videos even though I am very busy with exams and tests, and I really, really do promise to come up with more ideas despite how busy I will be. So, thank you very much for supporting and watching, and I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your day.